Millsap took a long time to be able to execute that pass. Dungey wasted no time at all. He goes right by the 29, and now will set his sights on the 18.
You know, and sometimes we tend to forget what happened last year because Brian Villapoto had such amazing rides at the end of the championship. But Dungey had two mechanical failures on the Suzuki. One cost him some points at Southwick. Still had a great ride. But that second moto at Freestone last year, he was leading, would have had the momentum and the overall. And so what that does for a rider to just stall that momentum, things could have been a lot different without that mistake.
Get ready for the stacked heavyweight card from UFC 146. Dos Santos versus Mir, the UFC weigh-in live. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern only on Fuel TV.
These guys are out there fighting right now.
Yeah, this is some Ultimate Fighters as well. Ryan Dungey has battled his way all the way back from about 10th early to now 4th. Made a pass on Andrew Short. Jeff, take us through this one. As it went to break, made this move.
Yeah, he comes up this section of rollers right here and just stays on top. It keeps a lot of momentum. Short leaves the inside open, and Dungey takes him pretty high right there and makes it stick. Triple down the hill. He's hammering right now. Dungey is on the move. 16 seconds off the lead. Set a 2:08 last time around.
And you folks can look at the clock at the top of the screen. 8 minutes before we will throw out the 2-lap board. And they're doing lap times a little over 2 minutes. So we're probably thinking somewhere around 4 or 5 laps or so left in this race. So if your Millsap's in 3rd and you only have a small gap over the number 5 of Dungey, you know you're going to have a battle on your hands with him before this one is over.
Stewart's teammate, Brett Metcalf, yellow bike, right in front right there. He's got him in his sights. And I can tell you, coming down that hill, Dungey got a little kick with the rear end, got out of control, but he still nailed the inside line that he wanted. Dungey's really, most of the time, he's pretty smooth. And what I love about his technique is how still and centered his shoulders and head and everything is on the top of the bike. He doesn't get his shoulders off to the side. He doesn't get out of balance a lot. And for him to have those little, that back of the bike kind of swapping back and forth, that lets me know that he's riding that KTM pretty hard right now.
And here's James Stewart, who has led, battled a bit with Short on the first lap, but basically he has led every inch of this race and just continues to extend it. 11.6 seconds is the lead for Stewart, who has not raced this tour full-time since 2008. That is a long layoff, and for most riders, it would probably take some time to get your legs back underneath you to get your speed back. But James Stewart, he always carries speed in his gear bag, and it's as if he has been riding this bike for a long time, and it's as if he had never left this series. He is on fire right now. And I'd imagine, Jeff, probably able to save a little bit of energy, not having to battle anyone down the stretch. Those other riders are really pushing each other.
Yeah, Stewart's out to 13-second lead right now. And I would be really happy with the 13-second lead. And one thing, part of my career, one thing that I would always focus on, especially in these first motos like this, if you're out front, is managing your energy and saving something for the second moto, and I think Stewart's going to need it.
Yeah, now see, meanwhile, these guys, they're not saving anything. They're going at it. You've got Alessi in 6th of the 800, and the green bike is to 25 of Brock Tickle, trying to get by him for that spot.
Alessi doing the old look back again. When he starts to go backwards, man, he really starts to looking around, moving around different lines. But I tell you, Tickle, he is fired up right now. And I'm pretty impressed with Tickle. It was the final qualifying practice here today. I thought Tickle looked exceptional and maybe better than what I expected him to. Right there, puts the move on Alessi.
So that is 6th now for Tickle in his first ever 450 motocross race. Did ride the big bike there in Supercross. I don't think he got the results he was quite hoping for. Just said you move up to that big class, it was really hard mentally to just kind of relax and loosen up. Doesn't seem to have that problem today.
Yeah, and how about it? You got Mitch Payton, his Mitch and Bones, their pro circuit Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, is the top Kawasaki rider right now. So,
and Let's go a little further back here. Metcalf second. We saw Stewart earlier. There is Metcalf. And it looks like Millsaps has actually caught Metcalf for second. And Dungy is right there with him. So 3 riders battling for second, third, fourth. And still a lot of time left in this race.
And you know what this ride by Dungy here, what it reminds me of? Michael Rocco. If he got a bad start, the guy would just be hammering through the pack. He was so good at that, and now obviously he manages a Geico Honda team. 250 guys be coming up next. But I tell you, Dungy is just relentless right now, and he looks strong. The bike looks good, and he is definitely getting the power to the ground.
Well, because of Dungy's reputation for being in such great shape, can the other riders sense that when you look back and realize that's who it is behind you late in the moto? Does that play with your mind a little bit and say, oh, this guy, he does not get tired?
Yeah,
he's probably only going to get stronger.
You know, these guys are at the top level. They've raced together numerous times. You know the personalities, you know the tendencies that the rider has. And when you have a guy like Dungy, who is self-trained, by the way. He doesn't have one of the premier rock star trainers that are out there in the world. This guy does it himself. You know?
Look at Millsaps going to the inside. Maybe the best way to avoid Dungy is to go past Metcalf. And he does. Now Metcalf going to try to fight back. Wheel to wheel on these uphill whoops. And Millsaps has the pass made.
See, Weeds, I never have liked the outside lines. You'd be hard-pressed to find a replay of me taking it outside somewhere. I like the insides. We talked about we were walking the track, practice today. And I was watching some of these riders going, where are they going? They're so far outside here. And what Metcalf is doing is trying to find a smooth line to gain the momentum, carry his speed. But right now, the short line is working. Ride those insides, ride it tight, get through these lines clean right here.
Let's see what Dungy now can do with Metcalf. And look at the difference that has made, where Dungy was right behind Millsaps. Look at the gap Millsaps has on Dungy now that he has made that pass. That might save Dungy. He could have gone all the way back to fourth. Instead, he's got a shot at finishing second.
Time's running out for Ryan Dungy right here. I'm really impressed with Millsaps and the ride he's putting on. I'm impressed with Metcalf and what he's doing right now. And we've only got, 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps. We'll see where they come across the stripe. It's probably going to be 34, 35-minute race here.
Oh, Dungy's right there with the 24 of Metcalf right now. Metcalf, veteran out of Australia. We mentioned Millsaps and his wife Brittany are expecting their first child in almost any day now. But Metcalf and his wife Sheena also expecting their first child beginning of August. Good to see the family atmosphere here at the races. Sheena's here this weekend. I think this is the last race she's going to be able to go to.
Baby showers happening all over the place. Kids running around.
It's always
a beautiful thing.
It's been a family sport. Dungy, who was Metcalf's teammate last year on the Suzukis, is now challenging him for third, and that position is big. Finish on the podium, top 3 in motocross, you get to go. Thank the sponsors. Talk about your race in front of the fans. If you get fourth, you just ride it back to the pits. So there's some motivation between these two to lock down that third place spot. And Millsaps, how about him pouring it on late, getting away from these two? Great ride for him as Stewart continues to lead down the stretch at Hangtown.